Capitalism and socialism are economic systems that countries use to manage the economic resources and regulate the means of production. Socialism is both an economic system and an ideology. A socialist economy features social rather than private ownership of the means of production. So today I am here to prove my points for socialism.
Should I start? Hello.
Yeah, you're audible. You can start.
Okay. So capitalism basically refers the capitalist economy, and it affords economic freedom, consumer choice, and economic growth. It is mainly a market-based economy made up of buyers, that is the people, and sellers, that is the private or corporate-owned companies. And there is a need for continual production and purchase for a capitalist economy to operate efficiently. And economic growth and expansion is mainly taking place in capitalist economic systems, and here I am to prove my points for capitalism.
So, Shubhlina, you are ready with your piece?
Yeah.
Okay, so you can begin. Rohan, you can start the timer for it. Your time begins.
Okay. Socialism reduces disparity in wealth, not only in different areas but also in all societal ranks and classes. Those who suffer from illness or are too old to work are still provided for and valued in by the government, assuming that the government is more compassionate towards the individual's family, which I believe they should be. Socialism, when organized correctly, has a base of progression and is in the interest of the entire population of any given country. Capitalism, on the other hand, only supports the idea that someone is working for personal interest or gain. This becomes especially dangerous when the capitalists becomes politicians. Capitalism is obsolete and should be denounced. Socialism is a set of left wing political principles whose general aim is to create a
Anushka, I
system
would
in which
say we have only
everyone
30
has an
seconds.
equal opportunity to benefit from a country's wealth. Under
We have only 30 seconds,
socialism, a
Anushka. Your time is up.
country's main
Take
industries are usually owned by the state.
Anushrita, am I
Socialism
audible?
is a
Anushrita, your
uh,
time is up for the opening part. It was only for 30 seconds.
no,
So
wait. This is me, Shubralina, and I was speaking my main speech for the
I'm
two
having some
minutes.
glitch. I don't know why two Shubhalinas and I'm sorry. You can continue. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Uh, the time
Some
is going on. From when will I
yeah,
resume?
yeah, you can start. I remember the time. You can start.
Okay, under socialism, the country's main industries are usually owned by the state. Socialism is a political model based on creating a small difference in the authority of different people. It allows for services that can help the poor reach the middle class by taxing the rich people. So the power of money is dispersed. The government definitely does not want socialism because they make money from people being in debt. So if the lower class becomes more stable, it will no longer create revenue for the government. Thank you.
Okay,
I
Anushka, are you ready?
Yes.
Yeah, you can
So
start with.
capitalist economy, it is a market-based economy made up of buyers who are the people and sellers who are the private or corporate-owned companies. And this capitalism allows consumers to choose. Individuals choose what they want to consume, and this choice leads to more competition and better products and services. When the institutions or the market is getting paid, how much they're getting paid properly for the goods they're selling, so obviously they will try to satisfy the consumers, and naturally the quality of the product will be much better in capitalism type of economy. Moreover, this efficiency of economics, goods and services are produced based on demand created incentives to cut costs and avoid waste. In capitalism, the goods are produced on the basis of the demand of the consumers, so there is no waste in the production process. One more important point is that drive to succeed as an individual is the strongest motivating factor a human being can feel in their work. And when work is uncoupled from reward, that happens in a socialist form of economy, that the overall profit is equally distributed among all. So that is not taking place in a uh, hello.
Yeah, yeah, you're audible. You can go
Am I
on.
audible?
Yeah, yeah, you can go on.
So that is not taking place in a capitalist form of economy. So when work is uncoupled from reward, or when an artificial safety net provides a high standard of living for those who don't work hard, the society as a whole suffers. So this happens in socialism form of economy. And one more point is that in capitalism, the market determines the price, including the pay, the price of labor, and in some people are paid huge sums. That is because of other people believe that they have unique talents which are worth paying for it, and if they fail to perform, then they will stop being rewarded so highly. So this is all part of a dynamic capitalist system which values individuality and rewards the ability and risk taking. So it motivates people to work more efficiently and more properly, to give in more of their efforts. So as a whole, the system works more efficiently.
Okay. So, uh, Shubhralina and Anushrita, I'll be having two questions for you respectively. First of all, I would like to go for Shubhralina.
Yeah,
Since you spoke for socialism, right?
yeah,
So I would just like to put in a quote forward, which was said by Karl Marx, who is considered to be as the father of modern day socialism. So
yeah.
he said that socialism is a hypothetical perfect situation. It's a hypothetically perfect situation, and you just can't achieve it. So we see socialist countries like Russia and there is China. Even countries like them are not totally able to culpably reach that practical socialism of Karl Marx, which he said. So I would like to ask you, if we are actually seeking socialism and we are saying that it's better, even countries like Russia and China, who suffer from the lacks of poverty, bad health crisis, educational crises, do you think it's really suitable to put socialism above capitalism?
Yeah, I believe it because if humans care for each other, only then will socialism come up. Like problems like crime, homelessness, poverty, these are ongoing problems. So, society based on production, which can put an end to these problems because they are bringing the priority of the socialist society. When only when the people will forget competing with each other, they will be able to bring up socialism within themselves, as only then will everyone will be looked upon as an equal class without any distinction, upper class, lower class. So yeah.
Yeah, but that was my point, Shubhalina, that even in countries like China and Russia, where socialism is in full fledged, even countries like them are not actually able to reach the idealistic goals of equality or the economical stability which they wish for. So, do you really think that the socialism as it is, like there should be 100% equality, there should be 100% distribution of economical wealth? Should we actually try to tone down a bit? Like, if not 100%, we should try to achieve somewhat say 60% of economical equality or like 50% of economical equality. But saying that a country is 100% economically equal, that doesn't make sense even in countries like Russia and China. How will you react to this point?
Yeah, of course, it doesn't make sense. Like Russia and China, they are still, they are still have waging slavery, exploitation, and commodity production. But it's really it's a very lame statement to say that everything is so in a everything is so uh, what to say uh, uh, okay, they still traded with capitalist states and according to the dictates of international capital that were ready to go and just to defend their economic interests. So I think that is the reason why they are still practicing it. I guess that's it.
Anushrita, you there?
Yes, yes.
You spoke about capitalism, right?
Yeah.
So I will be following up my question in two parts. The first part will be, do you think that capitalism is actually responsible for creating all the discords in the society, like capitalist countries such that America going in Vietnam creating issues, capitalist countries going in Afghanistan creating issues, capitalist countries going on in Congo and Iraq, Palestine, and all these places. So do you think that they are actually responsible for creating anarchy and chaos because they have a lot of money with them and it doesn't affect them?
I don't think it has anything to do with capitalism.
I think it has everything to do.
They're making chaos in some other countries, maybe some because of some other interests, but I don't think it has anything to do with their capitalism.
Okay, Anushita, capitalism is basically interest only. At any place you see interest, you just run to it. That's just like a honey trap. Capitalism is just that. There was no need for America to go to Vietnam. Vietnam is so far from America, but they see the honey trap and they go there. Similar is the case with Iraq and Palestine. What they have to do with them, but it's all the trap, right? So you can't say that it's not for them being capitalist. Like it's all the whole point is since they are capitalists, they can have this tendency to go in different countries because they have brute power and money. Okay, and
Okay, I get it. I didn't know about this
yeah,
much.
that's what I think you may not be clear with the definition of capitalism. So now another question is that it has always been said that capitalism acts as a money magnet. Since earlier times, we have seen from the classes of Robert Oppenheimer, Albert Einstein, these guys actually belong to Germany, Max Planck even. But since because of the regime out there and the money interest and the stability interest which they found in capitalist countries, they fled to that country. Like Albert Einstein was the person responsible for making a nuclear bomb, right? If he could have
Yeah.
given that to Germany, Germany could have won the war. But he chose to go to America. And America got it from him. Why? Because he was not an American. Just because they had capitalists and they had money to provide him. So do you think that's the
Yeah,
basic reason that capitalist countries have all the talent in the world because they act as money magnet?
yeah. Can I just say one thing?
Yeah, Jyoti, I will get to you first. Let Anushita answer this, and then we'll
Yeah,
get
yeah.
to you.
I'm
Okay?
sorry, bhaiya. I just okay. I'm so sorry.
No, no, it's okay.
Yeah,
It's okay.
so the capitalist countries, the main aim is, main intention is to make profit, and they can do anything to earn the profit. So maybe that is the reason they can even buy the recent research works and the recent inventions by the power of their money, as they can invest more as compared to the other countries.
Yeah. So that's what I was coming to, Anushita. Just a small tip for you. Since you said that capitalist countries can do anything with their power, you had to actually defend capitalism, right? So just don't speak so easily that capitalist countries can do anything. You can actually lose a point there if you say so easily. So just keep that thing in mind. However bad a topic you are supporting, you need to stand for it. Okay.
But if I don't get points for the topic, then I will lose out of words. So how will I speak in such a situation?
So it's a very simple situation. Like what I asked you right now was that you could have simply just adjusted to the situation that yes, since they provide scientific minds the peace the other countries cannot provide, and plus they help them with the economic aid. So that is why the minds go and flurry out there because talent requires money to survive. This could have been a better answer rather than saying that capitalist countries can do anything since they have money. That is what the socialists say now. That they do bloodsheds because they have a lot of money. So you just verified the point of the your socialist colleague, right?
Okay.
Keep that thing
Actually,
in
I am not so thorough with debates. I have done speeches and also I'm just learning debating.
It's completely fine. The way you spoke just like this, okay?
Okay.
Rohan, would you like to ask them anything? Rohan, audible to you, Jyoti?
Hello, bhaiya. Yeah, yeah.
Jyoti, you were saying something.
Yeah, I just heard that Einstein part. Like I just wanted to say that Einstein was actually driven away for being a Jew to USA. Like he didn't go there because he was he may be getting some higher pay, or because capitalists were attracting everyone like that.
Okay.
And
Okay.
and China also, like you must have heard the recent news that there is some port, Sri Lankan port actually. China has
Yeah.
taken over that Sri Lankan port by entrapping that Sri Lanka in some debt trap. So any
Yeah, yeah.
powerful country, be it capitalist, socialist, if it has resources, if it has economic
Yeah. Jyoti, I would answer you in 2 points. Okay. The first question, which you said about Einstein going to Germany, right? Because he was a Jew and atrocities were committed against him. So you should always keep this thing in mind that at one point of time, basically the Jews were the guys who were in brute power, and our history is so much flourished that nobody speaks about what the Jews did to the Germans. Do you know why actually Hitler became Hitler? Because it was the Jew diplomacy going on in Austria and he was not given the admission because it was full Jew diplomacy out there. That's why. That's the
Yeah, like
first thing.
it got disconnected.
Okay, okay. I will tell you. I would answer your question. The first question which you raised was about Hitler being going to right.
Yeah, yeah.
So yeah. So you should always keep two things in mind that Hitler, Jews have also committed a hell lot of atrocities, but we don't know about it because our history is polished in such a way that where we see more suffering, we go and stand with them. If we see the issue of Palestine, that is what the Jews are doing out there. Jews and Masons have been very powerful, and they have also taken welfare of their powers in great ways. And Hitler going to USA is a good thing, but him giving them the nuclear weapon is another thing. A scientist knows what he's creating. After all, bombs are not made to shoot pigeons on holiday, even a nuclear bomb. And your second part about China going and buying ports in Sri Lanka, that is what I said, Jyoti. Socialism is a hypothetical, perfect, practical concept which can't be attained, which just can't be attained. Even Karl Marx, who laid the foundation of it, said practical socialism can't be attained. So that's why if China is doing that, it's just because nothing exists like perfect socialism. कुछ होता ही नहीं है perfect socialism.
Yeah,
It's
I'm
just
sorry for my grave mistake. I referred China as socialist. It's communist. I'm so sorry. That was
call it
really
socialist, call it
stupid.
communist. They have ruined it all in together in the general consequences. So I think I would have sufficed you. Rohan, you wanted to ask something.
Yeah, to the person who is talking on behalf of capitalism, yeah, I guess it's Anushrita, right?
Yeah, yeah, Anushrita.
So, yeah,
Yeah.
every time you go against socialism, you paint a pictures like of countries like Venezuela, like China. China isn't actually a socialist country; it's more like a capitalist country. But you paint pictures like Venezuela, USSR, and do you know that the best places to live right now, like Sweden, like Denmark, they are kind of like socialist countries. They have universal healthcare. They have that. Most of them have good public housing, good public roads, and that's actually what socialism is. That they are taking some amount of money from you, and then in return they are giving you the services. Now in capitalist countries, like you, the best example of a capitalist country is the United States, right? So in the United States you will see that people are getting billed. I saw one video yesterday. People got billed around, a person got billed around 1.3 million for his COVID-19 healthcare, which wouldn't have been the case if you had to live in a socialist country, right? So why always when we think about socialism, why always we go the worst example possible? We have good socialist countries which are kind of the best countries to live in. So why don't we focus on them and see and take the best of both worlds and make the thing good?
Hello. Hello.
Feel free to answer.
Am I audible?
Yep.
Bhaiya, can you please be a bit clear, like what you are actually asking? I'm not getting. What is the point you're asking actually?
Yeah, I was asking that when you are why take always the most extreme when okay, I'm explaining it to you. when you're defending capitalism, you are always taking the most extreme cases of socialism, like USSR or Venezuela, where there are actually dictators and they threw out the entire democracy process and took over the entire judiciary. But there are places like Sweden, like Denmark, which are socialist and have the highest quality of life. So, doesn't that show you that socialism actually works? Uh, And why don't we include the best of the both worlds and take some parts of socialism, like the universal healthcare, like the universal that public housing, those public schools? They have the kind of the best public schools out there. Even the jails look better than our schools, I guess. So why don't we take the best of both worlds and make the thing a lot better? Because why always be so hardline on capitalism is the main thing we have to win. So
No, socialism is okay, but capitalism it mainly focuses on the uh, socialism. It focuses on the equal distribution of the profit. Like someone who is not putting in a much effort or not doing a hard work has also equal right in the profit, like a one who is totally putting in the input. And when work is totally uncoupled from reward, so but provides a high standard of living for those who don't work hard, so society as a whole suffers. So this part of socialism is really not good, that all will have an equal part in the total profit, which is good in case of capitalism. The more you put in the more results you get, the more in output you get.
okay, as a follow-up to that, why does always capitalist societies lead to the highest wage gaps in the society? Like the top 1% are earning more than the combined 50% of the bottom half. So that's not good for the society, right?
Sorry, once more, can you please say?
All right. Yeah, for in capitalist societies like India, like USA, we see that the
Yeah,
top 1% or the top 5% earn more than 50% of the lower 50 more than the lower 50% of the people.
yeah.
So that's not the good of the society, right? That's just a few people living their best lives, and the rest 50% of them. And the main thing is that the top 5% don't even pay the highest taxes. They get away with lots of tax reductions, and Amazon actually paid less than I don't think Amazon paid any income tax last year. So that's actually the flaw of the entire capitalist society, right? So
So that is mainly the
so how
malfunctioning
can
of the government, which is not taking taxes from people. That is
that's
nothing to
the
do with
entire
capitalism.
that's the entire thing capitalism is based upon. That's the most capitalist I'm telling you, right? The most capitalist state, which is the United States, has the top 1% of the people earning more than the bottom 50%. And you are saying that's the perfect goal that we should achieve. That's not the goal, right? That 50% of the people are just aspiring to that one day or another they can be amongst the top 1%. But most
Yeah,
of
but
them wouldn't even make it to the top
So
1%.
they can even the percent of people who are not earning up to the mark can also earn if they put in effort, like the 1% people who are actually earning.
There's a thing called there are some antitrust lawsuits going out around right now. I guess Facebook, Google, and Amazon were asked to come to Congress and testify, and it was all because of this that the top companies out there are just killing their competition by swallowing up their competitors or just blatantly copying their products. And that's capitalism at its best. So you can't defend that system, right? All right,
yeah,
we have. I guess I've been asking a lot of questions. Snake, can you take over?
Yeah, I think
yeah.
we
Can I just give one point favoring capitalism in United States and
sure.
other?
And if you want to make a last point, you can go. We are running short on time, so
Like,
just one point, Jyoti. Try to wrap it quick.
yeah, I am saying that like countries where socialism works just fine, like Sweden and all that you said, it has a very less population and too much of resources for the like very less population. That's why it works there fine. But but United States, there are too many people. In India, there are too many people. So if you will become like if you will promote social and just distribute everything among all, people will have just of like will have something that will be exhausted just in a few months, and people will stop striving for to achieve more and more things. So like in a more populous country and a more populous society where there are like more number of persons, people should compete based on their meritocracy. They will get what they deserve. Like that is what it is in capitalism. And you said about 1%. That 1% are billionaires and millionaires, but they must be billionaires and millionaires. But the rest of 50% who are earning less than the 1%, they are also not like too poor people lying on streets and all that. They are middle class people. They also have a decent lifestyle. Like they need no if they want to be billionaire, they can aspire for it. But hope you are getting my point. Like it's okay to not be a billionaire and be a middle class person and have a decent lifestyle. Yeah, that
Okay,
is how
okay,
you.
okay, Jyoti. I get your point, which you are trying to make. I think we have already dilated quite a lot of time in the session, and yeah, guys have already left. Many guys. So yeah, it was a great session which we had, and I think we should wrap it up, right? So that will be it, and we'll be hoping to look forward to more such sessions. And
We didn't have a closing statements.
okay, yeah, you can go for like so many rebuttal questions came in between. Yeah, you can go for the closing statement, right?
Okay, so I'll start.
Yeah, you can start.
Okay, so socialism is clearly better than capitalism. It ensures people are truly rewarded fairly for the work they perform, and it puts all people at an equal level. Unlike capitalism, it doesn't work to divide humans and forces them to compete against each other. Instead, it encourages humans to work together to achieve magnificent things and to live off their labor. So, socialism is likely to replace capitalism if humans care for each other. Thank you.
Anushita, your closing statement.
Yeah. I would like to say that capitalism is obviously better than socialism since it offers a consumer choice, and efficiency of economics is quite better in capitalist economy, and economic growth and expansion is possible in the capitalist economic system. This increases the gross national product and leads to improved living standards. Thank you.
I must say this was the best closing statements I got to listen in the entire session. This was very elaborate and very nice. Shubhralina as well as Anushita, great closing statements, and both of you just defended your points very nicely. Anushita, great in the closing, and Shubhralina as well.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I presume that's it. We have exhausted all the sessions and it's completed for today. I hope to look forward to all of you again on the next sessions, which are planned. Okay, so we'll end the meeting here. It was great having all of you on board. Okay, bye everyone.